two sessions. In the last two sessions, we have explored few things related to HTML. Similarly, some CSS we have seen. Also, we have written, simple JavaScript using alert. Also, we have seen server side using Python, Flask. We developed a simple application, and using get method, we are rendering the page with images. I think we created two pages and we were rendering with different images. Okay, just to understand how the server and the client they work, I have demonstrated those things. In the very first day, in the local host itself, I have shown you, not even local host. I just actually rendered in the browser, file have rendered in the browser. So I have shown something inline CSS, internal CSS, then external CSS, default CSS, how they work I have shown. Okay, so once again today we review those things like HTML, what are the different types of elements you have, what is CSS and what is JavaScript. Once again we revisit. So as I was saying, actually repeatedly when you practice them, then you become familiar with these things. So that's my intention. Now using here Visual Studio Code, this is the editor. With the help of this, you can create here. You can create HTML pages. You can create CSS. You can write JavaScript for a web front-end part. Even to work with actually some advanced tools like Angular or React.js, you can use them. Okay, apart from this, for developing server-side code also like Python, you can use it. For Go language, you can use it. Okay, mostly for these things, I use Visual Studio Code because this is a very good IDE. IDE stands for Interactive Development Environment or Integrated Development Environment. Okay, so without IDE, it's very difficult to code. You need to use some text editor, something like actually like Notepad, okay, or gedit if you use Linux kind of thing. With the help of that, you need to do. But otherwise, IDs are really very good. With Notepad, writing is very tough actually. Notepad or gedit, whatever it is, or VI editor. So it's very difficult to do with them. Instead of that, if you use IDs, your productivity increases very much. Okay, so writing code is great, not a great job, in fact. Okay, but writing code, better code within short time is very important. So therefore, to write better code, you have to have some IDs like Visual Studio Code. With the help of that, you can do it. Not only coding, apart from coding, you have to unit test, you have to code. Okay, so you have to see the effects of code, what you have written. That is also going to be important. Then similarly, making beautiful interfaces, that is also important actually. But as developers, we never bother much about the design aspect. We don't bother much about design because designs can be created by the creative designers. We have actually creative thoughts in a beautiful manner. They create design. That means they design the styles. Those styles we have to apply to the HTML elements, whatever we create. Okay, so therefore layouts are normally given by the designers, but as a full stack developer, one has to know about all these things also. Little idea you should have at least. But as far as coding part is concerned, you have to be having very good idea how JavaScript work. Okay, how Python works, how Go language works, or how C# works, or how Java works. What type of server-side code you take. So in that you should be very good. Also database related concepts like what is DBMS, what are normal forms. Please note down these points. You can revive those. All of you know about all these things. But once again, you can revive. So what is RDBMS? Similarly, what are normal forms? Okay. Similarly, what are the types of data you can accommodate in the given RDBMS tables? Similarly, what are constraints? Okay. So what is SQL? In the SQL, you have DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, DRL or DQL. What are these commands you have to know? And apart from that, what language we use to interact with the databases? Like SQL Server you take, we use TSQL. When you work with the PostgreSQL Server, we use PGPL SQL. So when you interact with Oracle, we use PLSQL. So like this, you have different languages. They are owned by those RDBMS packages basically. So, I mean, whenever they develop RDBMS package, they develop some language also to interact with that. Along with that, you need to know about the clients. You have different types of clients. A universal client called dbeaver. Okay, there's a client called dbeaver. It is called as here dbeaver. Okay, so I think let me show you that. What is the client exactly? This is as I come down here. Sorry, dbeaver. Yes, dbeaver Community Edition. You can actually download. It is free of cost. With the help of this, you can connect to any kind of database. It need not be only particular database. For example, you take SSMS. With the help of SSMS, SSMS stands for SQL Server Management Studio. With that, you can connect to only SQL Server. You can connect to only SQL Server. Okay. Similarly, if you go with MySQL Workbench, you can connect to MySQL only. And if you take PG admin, you can connect to only PostgreSQL. Okay. So all they're actually proprietary. You can connect to only to those databases. But dbeaver is a tool. With the help of this, you can connect to different types of here. RDBMS servers. We have different types of RDBMS servers. MySQL is one server. SQL Server is another server. Similarly, you have here Oracle is another server. These are all software RDBMS servers. Similarly, we have PostgreSQL. This is another server. Okay, so MySQL is from Oracle Corporation. Similarly, Oracle is from Oracle Corporation. If you go with the SQL Server, it's from the Microsoft. And from Sybase also, you have one such thing. It is available on the Linux platforms. Okay, DB2 is from IBM. Similarly, we have here PostgreSQL. It is also another RDBMS, which is on par, services are on par with the Oracle. Industry standards they maintain. So that is PostgreSQL Server. Many of the enterprises these days, they are adopting actually PostgreSQL. And Python works well with the PostgreSQL Server. Go language works well with the PostgreSQL Server. When you look at Java applications work well with the Oracle. Okay, because they are from the same company. Oracle is owned by Oracle Corporation. Java is also owned by Oracle Corporation. Earlier, Java was from the Sun Microsystems. Now, Oracle has overtaken it. So therefore, it works well with that. Similarly, if you look at Microsoft SQL Server works well with the .NET applications. C# based applications or VB.NET based applications, they work well with that. Okay, it does not mean that you cannot access Oracle from the .NET based applications. Still you can access, but the SQL Server is going to be native to Microsoft. Similarly, Oracle is native to Java. MySQL also similar to Oracle, not similar to Oracle, but it is native to Java. Okay. Similarly, when you work with Python, Python works well with the PostgreSQL Server. So you have different types of commercial databases, and to connect to them, basically database servers, they get installed as a service. Okay, they don't have any UI. They run in the background. They are installed as a Windows service. You have actually Windows applications. Every application is basically Windows application only when you install in the Windows machine. Okay, so Windows service does not have any UI. To connect to the Windows service, you require some client of client. In the case of, say, for example, MySQL Windows service, to connect to that, you require client. So this is nothing but here universal client. With the help of this, you can connect to any kind of database. It can be SQL Server, it can be PostgreSQL Server, it can be MySQL, it can be any kind of database. You can connect with the help of the dbeaver. You can download this. This is a Java-based server. You require Java runtime environment in order to run this particular thing. Okay, in order to run this particular dbeaver, you have to have Java runtime installed in your machine. Then in such cases, you can use this client tool. Here I'm connecting to different types of databases. You can see here I'm connecting to SQLite. So this is a free and lightweight database. It is not going to be running like a service. It is just a file. So for simple applications, you can use SQLite. Similarly, here I'm connecting to SQL Server, and with this I'm connecting to PostgreSQL Server. In the same way, you can connect to different types of like database servers. So download DB Viewer, and with the help of that, you can work with the databases as well. So once you have this particular client tool, you can create tables, you can create ER diagrams. This is called as ER diagram. So this is ER diagram. You have here one-to-many relations. Here in this case, TBL department, TBL EMP. So this can be having a relation like this. So therefore, you need to have these things. In the last session, what we were doing exactly, I created a server side application. In the Python, I created Python Flask application. So I have written in that two different functions, Python functions. They are returning actually some web content. So that is getting rendered in the browser. Okay. Now again, come to the front end part. So in the full stack, once again, I'm saying this, we develop browser-based applications. Okay, similarly, mobile-based. Browser-based as well as mobile-based application. And for developing browser-based applications, we are going to use React.js. And for mobile-based, we use here React Native. Okay, with the help of this, we develop here, full stack applications. So this is for the front end. Okay, this is for the front end. But before we start with the React.js, you have to be very good with the HTML, then CSS and JavaScript. Particularly, you should be very good with the JavaScript, because React.js is totally, based on the JavaScript or on the TypeScript, or it is TypeScript. Again, TypeScript is nothing but superset of JavaScript. That means whatever code you write in the TypeScript, that can be converted to JavaScript, or you can write JavaScript in the TypeScript. TypeScript is actually object-oriented, and other thing is it is having type safety. In the JavaScript, you don't have type safety. I'll show you what is type safety. And second thing is it is not strongly typed language, JavaScript. Very loosely typed language. Okay, JavaScript is actually very loosely typed language. And one more thing is it is dynamically typed language. But TypeScript is not like that. TypeScript is actually strongly typed language. What are the problems with the loosely typed language? You can understand as you progress. What are the advantages you have with the TypeScript? You can understand, because this is a strongly typed language. If you are familiar with languages like Java, C#, C, C++, you appreciate why strong typing is required. Okay. Similarly, when you work with Python kind of language or with JavaScript, what are the advantages of actually dynamically typed language? You appreciate that. Depending on the requirement, you have to use those models. Dynamic typing or static typing, depending on the requirement. Even Java supports actually dynamic typing. Python is totally dynamically typed language. Okay, so when you go with the like C# also supports actually dynamic typing. So depending on the requirement, you have to choose those things. Fine. So you have to know TypeScript, you have to know JavaScript, you have to know CSS, and you have to know HTML. These are very important for front-end development. When you want to develop applications for front-end, you need to know these things. Similarly, when you want to go with the back-end, this is what front-end. For front-end tools, you can think them as actually front-end tools. Okay, so these in the front-end, these parts come. To develop these things, we require some IDE. I use Visual Studio Code. With the help of this, I can develop them. Then similarly, in the backend, you can go with different types of backend tools. Okay, backend means coding part. Here it is Python. Then Go, or you can go with the ASP.NET Core, or it can be Java Spring Boot. Any of these you can use. Okay, here also you can develop front-end applications using many other things. Like I can use Angular with the help of that I can do. I can use HTML and jQuery with the help of that I can do. Okay, so also in this case, you need to know about the Bootstrap, which is nothing but CSS styles which are already defined. CSS and JavaScript. You require different types of widgets. when you work with the front end. Widgets are nothing but a pop-up should come, a styled pop-up should come. Similarly, sometimes you have to pick a date picker is required. Sometimes you have to go with the autocomplete. So autocomplete, you can write them from scratch also using JavaScript and HTML, but that is going to be time consuming. When you use those, when you use those tools like Bootstrap tools, they are developed by Twitter and they are tested well, they are open source. You require some MIT license to use them. So with the help of that, very quickly, you can develop the required application. Okay, so therefore, you have to know about those things to work with the front end, to develop beautiful applications and better looking applications for better user experience. You require those things in the front end. And in the back end, you require Python, Go, ASP.NET Core, Java Spring Boot. You can choose any of them. Here we are using Python Flask. With the help of that, we write the backend. So why we have chosen Python is very easy to learn. It's a very simple language and it is widely used. Market share of Python is about 30%. And particularly when you go with the web development, Python Django is used a lot and Python Flask also used. Python Django is fully loaded. It has so many features when compared with the Python Flask. But when you want to develop lightweight applications, you can go with the Python Flask. Everything is not available by default in the Python Flask. You need to add extra libraries to that. But in the Python Django, everything is available here. Okay, apart from this, you have to use some database. Once again, I'm reminding this, either MySQL or PostgreSQL, or it is SQL Server. Any of them you can use depending on your choice. PostgreSQL and MySQL, they are free. SQL Server also developer edition, that is free. And when you want to work with Oracle, you can go with the Oracle, something like Oracle X, some version is available. Okay, Oracle XP or some version is available. So that you can download, even you can work with that. But that is heavyweight actually. Oracle is too heavy software in my opinion. So only industries can afford, the companies can afford to use them. Normally, in our case, as a developer, when you're practicing, when you're trying to learn concepts, if you go with these tools, that would be better. Okay, if you're doing some business, in that case, if the situation demands, probably you can go in that case with the Oracle. Otherwise, you can go with these softwares like MySQL, PostgreSQL, or you can go with the SQL Server. So SQL Server Developer Edition, you can download and you can work with that. Okay, so even these work as a web API servers also sometimes. MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, from them also you can publish actually web API without using any server-side code like Python. Okay, so those features are also available with the MySQL, with PostgreSQL, and with the SQL Server. So you don't require extra layer like Python. Without them also you can write. But apart from the database, you may have some business logic. Business logic you incorporate in the Python code. And one more thing, these days what is happening? The servers are going to be thin, clients are going to become thick. A lot of functionality we are trying to provide with the front end only. Okay, so backend mostly for certain purpose, for login purpose and to access database and for few other things we use. It is actually thick client versus thin server. The concept is something like thick client versus thin server. So such models are actually emerging. And apart from that, these days we are coming up with the micro front end kind of thing. So in the micro front end, it's not actually mono repo kind of thing. So in the micro front end, you can use different types of front end technologies again, React.js, AngularJS, together they can work and you can develop an application. Similarly, you can use like multiple apps within the same project, same maybe with the React or with Angular, with that also you can develop. So these kinds of applications are going to be in the future. Okay, so they have started adopting actually. Adoption will not take in a single day. Slowly we transform actually. Slow transformation this is. We have to be ready always for the future. Okay, along with the technology, we also have to change. We also have to evolve over a period of time. And this evolution is going to be continuous process. So continuously we need to update, we need to adopt latest technology, we need to adopt embrace latest technology. Then only we survive in the software industry. Otherwise we vanish. Okay, from technical aspect, I'm saying no longer will be technocrats if you don't go with the new technology, if you don't embrace if we don't adopt new technology. Soon we get outdated. Okay, so I mean, in this front end part, first again we are going to revisit HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, now let me start Visual Studio Code. Okay, so then here folder. So I just launch here this folder. Okay, otherwise I go with the bootstrap examples only. Just come back. This is once again. So I launch this. Okay, I'm selecting this folder. There are so many things available in this case, so we don't see into them. We create here some other application. Okay, so different types of things are created already. We have seen that, I think, earlier, but again, we create in this case some other things. And one more thing, what I want to say to you is you have to create GitHub account. Okay, you have to create GitHub account. If you don't have, create your own account in this. So you can create your repositories. You can create your repositories, and with the help of that, what you can do, you can be, saving your code into this. You can save your code into this particular thing. So for that purpose, you have to go with the like github.com. You should have a github.com account. So you can create your own account. In that you can create repositories and you can work with that. So therefore, create a GitHub account for you. Then similarly, you install the GitHub in your system. Okay, so you can here install. Once installed, command line kind of thing, actually git git is available. So with this, you can be like you can stage your code, then you can push into GitHub repository, then you can pull from that. There are different commands with it. Some of you might be knowing about the git, because if you have work experience, you know about the git. So you have to use git for continuous integration and continuous delivery. So, you have to have a GitHub account as well. So just create an account with the GitHub, then start creating repositories, then try to, try to create some files, then try to save locally. It's called a staging. Then from there, try to move into like a GitHub repository with the help of the push command. You can have push command, then similarly, you can have actually save. So those commands you need to be mastering with the git. So just you can go through git, like in the internet is available. Just git commands, what are they, how to work with git, try to understand. In one session, I explain you how to push into Git repositories, how to create repository, how to push into that. So you have to know about this version control. This is called as version control. So whatever code you have written, you can push into Git repository. Okay. So next thing here it is. Now let us come to our part. So whenever you talk about HTML, as we know, HTML is a hypertext markup language. Using that, you can create the web pages. You can create web pages with the help of the HTML. So in the HTML, there are going to be like two parts. Like one is what? Head section. Other one is body section. We know about these things. Head is basically going to contain metadata, and metadata is nothing but data about data is called as metadata. And body is going to be containing what content exactly you are rendering in the browser. Okay, whatever information you have, that information you have to put in the body part. And head is containing actually certain directives. or metadata, like how to style elements. Okay, so similarly, what kind of JavaScript is required? Similarly, you may write some snippets of JavaScript as functions, and you can write in the script body of the head. So head is always about the metadata. Okay, data about data. So in that you define the CSS. In this you define meta tag. Similarly, in that you are going to be defining some script. All the things you are going to do in the head part related to metadata. Then in the body you are going to put the content. Whatever content you are showing in the body, so that is going to be coming in the body. But script tag not limited to only head part. Even within the body also it can be written. We need not write always in the header section. We can go to the body. In the body also, script can be written using the script tag. Now let me create here one more HTML page and see that. Okay, so I want to create here a page called third.html in this. Okay, so here you can use these shortcuts. With the help of that, quickly you can create. I want to name this as here third.html. So this is going to be here a HTML page followed by here doc type declaration. It is going to mark this as a HTML5 page. So what type of page this is actually? HTML5 page. Okay, earlier you had actually HTML4, 3, 2, 1, like that we have different versions. So HTML5 is actually a new version, I can say. I mean, in this, there are certain inbuilt features. You have inbuilt audio mechanism, inbuilt video mechanism in this. Okay, similarly, location tracking is possible in this case. You can have local storage as well as session storage. They are possible with the like HTML5. Along with that, you have a element called canvas. With the help of that, you can design beautiful graphics. Or if you want to develop any games, you can develop games in that within the canvas. There is an element called canvas that is available with the HTML5 onwards. Okay, so on that you can create actually beautiful graphics. In that you can have beautiful graphics actually. Similarly, SVG files also you can render. SVG stands for scalable vector graphics. You take PNG file, you take GIF file, or you take actually JPG file. All of they are actually raster images. Mostly they are raster. Okay, but when you go with the SVG, they are scalable vector graphics. So when you scale them up or when you scale them down, the resolution will not change with the SVG files. Okay, so it supports actually SVG as well. So this is what document type declaration, followed by next one is you have here a head tag. Okay, so try to use always the like tags in the lowercase letters. Don't use actually uppercase letters. Try to use always lowercase letters. So this is a convention. Normally it's followed. Though you can write in the uppercase letters, it is not a good practice. And one more thing, in the internet, if you use actually in the chatting also, if you use uppercase letters, it's called as shouting at somebody. Okay, so in the internet actually chat manners, you cannot type actually in the uppercase. If you type in the uppercase, it's called as actually shouting at that person. Okay, so that ethics and certain values also we need to maintain here. So therefore, try to write only in the lowercase, don't write in the uppercase. Sometimes you can use write in the uppercase whenever you want to highlight something very much. In such case, we can use. Otherwise, uppercase is treated as actually aggressive kind of thing. So now here we go with this head, and within the head, I can go here with a title tag. So title, then followed by third page, I put. You always try to have actually a title tag. So when you put title, this becomes actually SEO friendly. Okay. So your page can be searchable in such cases. So this is called as here SEO friendly. So you have to go here with the SEO friendly kind of mechanism. Okay. Then similarly, we require a page which is actually like you require a page which is responsive kind of thing. You have to create a responsive page. That means the page must be getting rendered on all kind of devices. Okay, for that purpose, we use a tag called meta tag. Okay, it's a meta tag. Name is going to be here viewport. Viewport is nothing but screen. A viewport is nothing but actually screen here. Okay. So here name viewport we write here, then followed by in this case content equal to here. What is the width of that? So we go with the width here equal to device width. Depending on the device, this should be getting rendered. Device width is it must be. Then similarly, initial scale. That means 100% zoom I want to take here. So therefore, I write it as initial, then scale. This is going to be here 1. Okay, this is going to be here 1. So this is called as here meta tag. Try to close always tags in this manner. Okay, so this is not a container tag. There are two types of tags again. One is container, other one is non-container tag. A title you can think as a container tag. This is containing some data in this. This is non-container tag because you don't require any separate tag for closing it. So this title you can think as element here. It has a starting tag, it has a closing tag. Closing tags must be like this. So inside them, if you want to contain any data, in such case, you have to go with the starting tag and closing tag. But here, just this is a tag. With this, you are making the web page as a responsive web page. Meta, name equal to viewport, content width equal to device hyphen width, initial scale equal to 1, we have specified here. Okay, with the help of this, you are making actually this page a responsive web page. Okay, you are going to make this page as actually a responsive web page. Okay, now after that, what we do here, we try to create some body. Okay, body. So in this, I want to here put some content. Now here, I need to close the HTML tag. I haven't kept actually HTML. So after head, before head, actually, I require here HTML tag. Okay, then I need to be ending here. So this is the structure of the HTML page. Normally, a page is created in this manner. We have a doc type declaration, HTML. Okay, then followed by the actual document is starting. In this document, there are two parts, header part as well as body part. So important tag in this case is what here? Title. The next thing is here what? Meta, name equal to viewport, content equal to width, device width, initial scale equal to 1. That means 100% zooming, it's going to be happening when the page is getting launched. And it's going to be depending on the width of the device. It is not limited to any particular type of device. So this is going to be depending on the width of the device. Automatically, it's going to get adjusted within the given screen. Now, suppose I go here with a paragraph, something like this. I want to put a paragraph data. Okay, I want to copy some content in this case. So sample page data. So same thing I would like to repeat here. The same data I want to repeat here multiple times. Okay, like this, I keep on repeating this same data multiple times. I try to repeat. Okay, a few times I repeated here. Now let me render this on the screen, how it looks. Okay, where this is available, HTML in the bootstrap, it is actually written. In the bootstrap samples file, the file is created. Just let me clear some of the junk content. Okay, and one more tip actually, whenever you're running any applications, so go with the 10%. With the help of that, you can clear here the junk files. Whenever you work with internet or whenever you work with applications, they may create actually a lot of data for temporary purpose. They get saved in the temp folder. So try to remove from that particular files from the temp folder. So in that case, your system performance can improve. Particularly when you are falling short of actually hard disk space, that's going to help you a lot. So try to remove from time to time from temp folder. Okay, now here it is created. Let me go to the concerned folder. Is G drive. Then here bootstrap examples in that I created a file called third that I want to render now here. Okay, I want to go here with the third and I'm trying to render that particular thing here. It is getting rendered like this. Now I'm resizing this. So when I resize, what is happening? Further, I cannot resize up to this only. I can resize. So this is the minimum device width I have. Okay, it's minimum device width. Now automatically it's getting adjusted like this. It's getting adjusted in this manner automatically. So this is called as here responsive design. It's called as actually responsive design. So here in this case, what is happening? The content is getting adjusted. Automatically it's getting adjusted. That means automatically wrapping into next line. It is getting wrapped into next line. Okay. Now in this, what I do, I want to put some image and see what happens in such cases. After paragraph, I'm going with some image here. I can go with the image tag, then followed by here src equal to here in this dot slash followed by here I go with some image. I have in this case some js.png file. I just take that, otherwise I go into this, then here I have images. So from this, I want to choose here this image. Okay, then I can close this particular thing here. When I render again this one, it is going to be looking in this manner for me. Okay, suppose, yeah, I mean, since image is small, there is no problem. But if I go with more width kind of thing in this case, I can specify here width equal to like, I can go here with the like some 500 px. In pixels, you can specify width or some 600 px I take. What will happen in such cases? Now see here. I'm using here 600 px. Okay, here I should not put any px or anything. Just I need to put here 600. Now let me render this particular thing here. Okay, now suppose I try to resize this. When I resize, what is happening? It's getting truncated. Entire image is not coming for us here in this case. Part of the image is getting truncated for you. Okay, and scroll bar is getting added. It should not happen something like that. So what should happen? It should be automatically adjusting without any scroll bar in the bottom. Okay, so for that purpose, you can go with images and you can go here with the percent. Here go with the 100%. You put 100%. In such cases, what will happen? See now in this. I just try to refresh. So it is taking entire space. But when you resize, what is happening? It is not getting truncated. As screen is increasing, automatically the image size is actually increasing for us. Okay. Earlier, what happened? If I go here with a fixed value, like I say here, something like only 100 I put here. Width equal to, I try to put here 100. Now what will happen in such cases? You see here. Okay, again, I refresh this. It's going to be looking very small. So in such case, you don't have any impact. Okay, it does not have any impact actually in such cases. But suppose here you make more size, something like 500 you take now. Okay, you want to make it much bigger, you kept 500. So now if you refresh this here, what will happen? It is coming up in this manner, but always the size is going to be same. Depending on the device, automatically size must be getting adjusted. So now this is not reactive. As far as this image is concerned, it's not reactive. To make this responsive, sorry, it's not responsive. To make it actually responsive, so in such cases, you have to go with the percent rather than actually giving fixed size. If you go with here 100%, always it's going to be taking entire screen. It's going to be occupying here, in this case, entire screen, but automatically depending on the resizing, it's getting adjusted. Okay, now image is what exactly? Now it is a responsive image. Image is responsive, even content is also going to be responsive. So depending on the device, this is going to be working. So this I host into like Python Anywhere. And if you have any mobile phone, in the mobile phone, you can check how that is working. Okay, how that is working with the mobile phone, try to see this. So this file I'm going to put into pythonanywhere.com. I open my subdomain here. It is coming automatically, but I need to log in this case. So here it is pythonanywhere.com. It is templates actually I want to use with the my name here. Okay, so I have logged in this case. I can go into files folder. Then here, my site. In the my site, I have a folder called templates. In the templates folder, I just want to upload here third. Right now I have these things, but from this, I want to put the third in this case. File name must be here, third. I take this and host it here. But when I host it, there can be a problem because you need to go with this. Here it is in the templates. Sorry. If you go with the third.html, so where is the file available here? Read examples we don't have. Instead of that, I have here a static folder. In the static folder, I have that. Static, then followed by, here it is, images, earth, -its, rucka.gif file. This is available. I can save this here and come to this, and in this my site, in the static folder, you have images folder. In that images folder, that file must be available. So this file is available. This can be getting rendered. So once again, come to here, the folder, here in this case, my site. Here I need to go to the flash kpp.py file, and here I need to write one more root. With that root, I can render the newly created one. Okay, so I'm putting some name here. It's not meaningful, just for the sake of actually demonstration. I'm putting some names here. Okay, this is here earth. I want to name this as here earth, and this is also function name is here earth. Okay, I need not render actually here. The printing is not required in such cases. I have to go with the here third.html. This is the name of the file, third.html. Then here, save this. Then again, I come to this, try to here refresh, followed by here, I want to put third dot. So this is here, third.html. So with this not found, it says not HTML. HTML is not required here. Just I need to put only third in this case. Still it says not available. Sorry, it's not third. It is actually earth, ARTH. This is the root name. Okay. So I think it is not updated quickly. Once again, I should come to this. Here, this is what exactly it is rendering this particular thing. It is nothing but spin on earth it is. Okay, slash earth it is. So let me save this and run here. Okay. Then I'm going to refresh this. Then here, I try to see this here. So how this is coming now? It is taking entire space. But when we resize, it is coming in this manner. Same thing you can try in your phone. When you try in your phone, without truncating any data, it should come for you. You can open the phone. In the phone, you can see this. So just type there sridhar.pythonanywhere.com/earth. So in that case, it should be fitting in your phone without any truncation. So just check please it in the phone and see whether it is responsive or not. Okay, so you can go to Chrome browser from the phone. So in that phone, just type the URL sridhar.pythonanywhere.com followed by here it is earth. In that case, you should get it. Okay, so yeah, just type there. See that whether it is rendering or not in your mobile phone without truncating the image.
It's working fine.
So that's what in the mobile phone, it should work. So there should not be any image truncation. In the responsive manner, it should work for you. Slash followed by here earth. So this should work for you and it should exactly fit in the screen. Okay, on the screen, it has to fit exactly in the, mobile phone also. So if it is working in the mobile phone in the proper manner, then that is called as actually responsive web page. So responsive web design is nothing but here. Okay. So responsive web design meaning is what here? First of all, we are keeping mobile phone in the mind and we are going to make it is working on the given very smallest device. Okay, so this is here responsive design. What we have done here, first thing is meta name equal to viewport, content width, device width, initial scale 1. Then for rendering images, we have gone with this. Okay, img src equal to, I have specified here the path of the image, where the image is available. Okay, so it should be getting rendered in the browser, any kind of browser you take, whether it's mobile browser or it is actually a desktop browser or it is a laptop browser or it can be tablet browser. That means browser running in those devices I'm saying. So always it should work with the same kind of thing. Then that is called as actually responsive web page. Okay, so it is called as actually responsive web page and in the body we are adding the image. Okay, so image is what here? This is the inline element. Okay, it's nothing but here inline. It is not going to start at the block level. Before this, if you put any content, before that, if you put any content, I go here with a paragraph. I'm going to put in this case P. Okay, then followed by here I can write some content. The content is going to be like, so I want to name this as here sample image. Okay, I put here this as some sample image. Now, after this, I want to render this. What will happen? I want to see here in this case. So what is happening here? Where is that coming? Not here in this. I need to see the local. I changed it. So automatically, image is taking entire available space because you are going with the 100%. Instead of 100%, if you go with 90%, what will happen? See, what is 90% exactly? 100 or 90%? Available viewport. How much space is available on the screen? Try to use 100% or try to use 90% or try to use 50%. Whatever percent you give, it's going to be shown in that manner. Now go with this. What is happening here? It is getting printed here. To the right of that, you have image. You can see. So both are coming actually in the same line in such cases. Sample image text you have here. To the right of that, what we have in this case, we have the image. Now when you actually go with the, like whenever you resize, what is happening? It's getting wrapped like this. Now let me increase here. So in this case now getting adjusted. When enough space is available, it's getting adjusted. Otherwise, it's wrapping into next line. How the text is working in the same manner, it is working in this case now. Okay, because sample image cannot be fitting in that case. And how much viewport size we are using? 90% we are using. Instead of 90%, if you go only with the 50%, how it behaves, see. So how it's going to behave, just try to see here in this case. So go to this, then try to render here in this again. So when you render here, it is coming in the same line. Okay, now it is fitting here. But as you resize, it's going to be using in this manner. More and more spaces, it is, occupying the images. Depending on the available size, it is automatically getting rendered. So this is called as here responsive page. Okay, so this is called as actually, yeah, you can put actually two images side by side. If you want to put more than one image, you can put more than one image side by side in that. So here, sample images I put. One more image I want to put here, img, then src equal to, I can go here with the some image, then dot slash. So followed by here, grid examples. Okay, so this is going to be here, grid examples. I take that. Otherwise, I go with the JS PNG, JavaScript PNG, something like that I take. Then here, I want to go here with the like width equal to in this case, 40% I use. 40%, then it's going to be like this. I want to see this particular thing here. Now render. JavaScript is coming like this here. Now let us resize. When there is not enough space, actually it's coming in this manner. For this image, we don't have enough space. So in such case, you need to reduce size for them. So 40%, instead of 40%, go with here some 30%. And here also go with the 30%. So in such cases, they can render properly. So go in this manner and try to now see here this one, how it's working. Refresh this here, how it is working now in such cases. You can resize. In that case also, both the images are coming up. Depending on the available space, what is happening here, they are getting scaled up. Okay, they are getting scaled up depending on the requirement here. Or scaling down or scaling up is happening in this case. So when you make something like that, this is called as here responsive pages. So we created here a responsive web page. So in that, what is happening? Depending on the device size, images are automatically getting adjusted. Even the content is also getting adjusted. Okay, so this way you can make actually responsive websites. Fine. So next thing here, as I told, we have different types of elements like inline elements and block level elements. We have inline as well as block level elements. P is called as a block level element. Div is called as a block level element. H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, they are also called as block level elements. That means they always start at a new line. They are going to be starting always at a new line. So in contrast to that, you have actually a span element that is going to be inline element. That means what? In the same line, you can have multiple spans. Now let me put here some div. Div is nothing but division. These are containers. Paragraph is also nothing but a container kind of thing. This is going to hold only text. Paragraph normally holds text. Div is going to contain multiple types of elements in that. Okay, you can have a form inside that. You can have images inside that. You can have actually some select in that. You can go with input. All the things you can have within the div. Okay, but normally in the form, we put actually paragraph text. P stands for here paragraph. Now, after this, what I want to do, I want to go here with some div. I can put a div here. Then what I do in this case, I can write this as sample div. How much space this is using? It's using less space. Okay, sample div, sample data set 1. Similarly, I want to go here with another div. What happens? See in such cases. So I go here with this then. Here in this sample data set 2, I want to set. So both of them are going to be coming in different lines. They don't come actually in the same line. They are going to be coming in the different lines now. Because a div starts at the new line always. It is going to be starting always at the new line. So after this div, whenever you want to go with a new div, it's going to be first of all embedding a new line, then it starts. Now just see here how this behaves. You see here sample data set 1, sample data set of 2, set 2. Okay, their behavior you can change by using here some float mechanism. We go here with the style. Okay, so right here align, followed by here left. Left side we are aligning this here. Okay, so we are going to be sorry, it is not aligned. Float left. Float left. This is, and followed by, you can specify here the width. Width, put it as here like 30%. Put width at 30%, then followed by here, go with this div, then again specify here style. This equal to width. Here you go with the 60% or go with the 50%. Okay, in such case, what should happen? They have to be shown in the same line. They must come actually in the same line. How they run? Let us see here. Now they are coming in the same line. So first one is using here 30% space. The next one is going to be using here how much space? 50% of the available space. So are they responsive or not? Let us see. Okay, when text is not actually having enough space, so it is wrapping into next line in such cases. You see here. So sample data set 2 is getting wrapped into next line because inside that we have a text. So text automatically gets wrapped. Depending on the width of the device, they are behaving. So let us change actually the percentage for this, go with the 40%. In such cases, text will not wrap into next line, I think. So go with this again, try to see automatically it's coming in that manner. Okay, fine. Then here in this case, let us go with actually more. Here go with the 55% rather than going with the 30%. See whether it is working properly or not. So just try to do like this. Now what is happening? It's not getting wrapped. It's not getting wrapped actually. So like this can be working for us. Okay, so we are making actually them as responsive web pages. Okay, div is what basically a block level element. Always starts at a block level. But that behavior, okay, you can override using style, float left. You need to specify width. 30% of the width this is. 30% of the width we take here. And in this case also, we go with the style width 55%. Similarly, for the text also, you can go here with the font size I take here. Font size followed by here, I would like to go with some percentage. So here I want to go with the like 30%. How big it looks, let us see. How big this is going to be looking, let us see in that case. So 30% when I take, actually it looks very, very small. Okay, but if you increase this one, what is happening? So still it is not changing actually. Okay, so it's not changing. It's always looking like actually 30% only. Then here, go with some 100%. What happens? See, we go with 100%. And here, we refresh this here. Okay, now when you increase it, it will not change actually. Nothing will happen to that. It's always 100%. Okay, so font size is always 100% actually. In this case, we haven't specified any particular point in that case, just we specified here 100%. Instead of this, if you go here with a font size, something like here, 20px, what happens in such cases? See, I'm going with here 20px, then try to here refresh this. So when you look at that, both of them, what is happening? First one is having smaller size. This next one is having here bigger size. It's having actually here bigger size in this manner. Okay, sample data set 2, it is actually a little bigger when compared with the other one. So there is no change in this size, but what is happening? Automatically it's getting wrapped in this manner. Okay, now my question in this case, this is something like an assignment. How to make actually font size like image? Automatically text size also must increase or decrease. You have to solve that issue. What I'm doing in this case, font size 20px I have given. So instead of that, the font size also must decrease and increase. How you make it? Just try to Google, try to find information, try to solve this issue. So like this, I can give assignments, you have to do them. Then in that case, you really learn. Otherwise, if I do something here and if I demonstrate to you, it's not learning yourself. So you have to solve this issue. Font size I have given 20px. Rather than that, you make this particular sample data set 2 should be, the size should be increasing. Okay, depending on the width of that, automatically this should increase or this should decrease. So like that, you have to make it. Whether it's possible or not, you try to find and try to do that. It can be something like assignment for you. You have to do it and try to create Python anywhere, something like that. Then in that, you try to host it even. Okay, hosting also I've shown you yesterday how to do it. So try to create an account with the pythonanywhere.com. Then here try to host these pages. So in the last session, I have shown you how to write the code in the Python Flask. In the same manner, by looking at video, you write it. Instead of actually, I can copy and give you the files, but in that case, you don't practice. Look at video, then practice. Okay, so here I have created div, then followed by body. Within the body, I have created paragraph, then div, and I created here few images. So images are now what exactly? They are responsive images. These are nothing but here responsive images. Okay. Any questions on this? No, you cannot connect through Python Anywhere account with me. So just you can, it is a free, I mean, some package is freely available to you. Just you can host one site with a free kind of thing. Not free host actually. I mean, you cannot have your own domain name. You have to go with actually like subdomain name. Your name followed by .pythonanywhere.com. With that you can create. Okay. But if you want to have with your own domain name, in such case you have to go for a plan like $4 per month. I think there is a plan $4 or $5. I don't know exactly. I could not remember exactly. Either $4 or $5 per month. So with that you can create your own site. Okay, then different content you can put. So that is going to be useful whenever you are trying for jobs, new jobs actually. And using this platform, you can show your capabilities. What kind of application you have done? Some dummy applications only. You should not show actually. I mean, if you have done work on some real-time applications, so don't show them. You can create some sample sites yourself that you can show you have skill in those things. That way it can help you. In that way, you have to use actually pythonanywhere.com kind of thing. Okay, so this is the this is the page I created. So here in this case, I have used the viewport meta name is viewport. With the help of this name equal to viewport, we made actually responsive web page. Okay, now this is what here it's a div, and this is for this is a block level element. Paragraph is also nothing but block level element. Whereas if you go with the span is going to be here. Inside this, I put another div. What happens? See here, div here, then nested div. This is sample data 3. I put here sample data 3. This is okay. How this works now? Let us see. When you go with the nesting, how this is going to work. Sample data 3 I have here. Okay, so it is coming in the new line again. Inside that, it's coming with the new line. Even for that also, if you try to put here some size, what happens? See here, style. Here in this case, width, colon followed by here, I want to go with some 30%. What will happen in such case? Let us see. No change in that case. Still, it is actually in the new thing is getting started, but this is wrapping in such cases. In the sample data set 2, we have sample data 3. Okay. So what is happening in such cases? It is starting at a, I mean, it's starting actually in a new line here. So whenever you go with the div, this is going to be starting always at the new line. It's going to be starting at the new line. So that's why this is called as an inline element. Okay. But here, suppose I have a span element. Here I go with the span, less than span. This is span followed by here span also meant for holding the text like paragraph. Need not be text always. It can be any other kind of things also you can have in that. Okay, you can have any other kind of things in this case. Okay, so here go with this now span. In this you put here sample data with span. How this looks, see here. When you go with this, how this is going to look, see in this now. It is coming along with this only. It's not coming in the new line. That means what? It's the inline. Okay, it's not going to be starting at the new line. It's part of actually this particular thing. But when you resize, what will happen in such cases? So no change in that case. It is actually with that only. It's not wrapping. It's wrapping actually. Okay. So here it is going to be with the, it's going to be coming with the same data. That's why we call this as actually inline. Whereas if you go with the sample data 3, what is happening? It is starting in a new line. So div is actually inline, I mean block level element, whereas span is actually inline element. It's not going to be starting at a new line. So div is a container, span is a container, but span actually inline element, whereas div is actually not inline element, it's a block level element. A table is block level element, a div is a block level element, a paragraph is a block level element. Similarly, H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6 headings are also block level elements. Okay. So these are what basically block level as well as inline elements. Fine. Any questions on this? Okay. Now next step is going to be, I want to design some styles here. I want to design a style. So styles can be element based, styles can be ID based, styles can be class based. Here, I want to go here with the style tag. With the help of that, I can design here few styles which I can apply for the with the HTML elements. I want to define here for paragraph. Like this, I can define here P followed by here like curly brackets. Then here inside this, I want to go with the font size. Font size here in this, it is something like here 20 px. Okay, then here color. It must be something like yellow color. I want to apply for all the paragraph text. So it's going to be yellow color. Okay, similarly, I want to go with the text transform. Text transform, I want to take here text transform, then here it is like uppercase. Everything I want to convert into uppercase, whatever content you have in the paragraph. So how many paragraphs overall I have in this? There are two paragraphs. Sample page data, like this your paragraph and this second paragraph. So automatically for all these paragraphs, these styles will be getting applied, and this is called as here element based style. Okay, this is called as here element based. Paragraph is an element. For all the paragraphs, the style will be getting applied automatically in this. And this is called as here inline style, internal style. Okay, so you define once and you can use for number of elements. You can define with the number of elements. Whereas if you go with the div here, this is called as here inline style. So this style is applicable only for this particular div, not with all the divs. So therefore, paragraph, if you take here font size 20%, we have taken. Okay, 20%, 20 px we have taken. So with that, the font size must be increasing for all the paragraph elements. At the same time, what should happen here? The background color must be yellow. Okay, then text must be coming in the uppercase. Here we are typing everything in the lowercase, but ultimately they must be in the uppercase. Now try to render here this one. What is happening here? Everything is coming in the yellow. Okay, in the yellow, this is coming here and responsive text. So yellow does not float well with the here body. So I want to change the color for that. I want to go with some other color in such cases. Okay, here I go with the body. For body also I can define a color. Here I go with the body, then followed by here I want to go with the background color. Okay, background color. This I want to specify as here green color. I want to go with the green color for this particular thing. Let's see how this is going to be looking. Whether yellow can float on the green or not, we see. It is coming up now. Okay, all thing is getting converted to uppercase, and this is going to be even responsive. It's nothing but here responsive. So like this, it is coming, or it's automatically applying to all paragraphs. So this style of this way of defining style is called as here element based styling. It's called as here element based styling. Okay, similarly, you can go with a class based styling. You have a div. So for certain divs, you want to apply certain style here. Okay, you want to apply certain style for certain divs here. So go here and try to define a style for the div. I can go here with a dot followed by ds or d style. And inside this, I would like to define. Okay, here I want to go with the color, then put this as here red. Okay, red this is, and width here I want to take like 60% of the available space. 60% of the available space. Then here border, I want to put a border for the border radius. So in this case, it's going to be like 99%. Okay, 99% I want to use. Then here border, I want to go here with the like solid. I want to have a solid border for the div. So this style I would like to apply with few divs here. Few divs I want to apply. Then here I can go here with the H scroll. Okay, sorry. Scroll followed by here. Not scroll. I can go with the overflow followed by X here. Overflow X. This is what exactly scroll. Content can be getting scrolled in such cases. Whenever we don't have actually, whenever we have too much text, this must be getting in this case scrolled. Okay, so I have here a new div. I want to create here another div. For all the divs, we have a style. So now here I want to go with some new div. So for that, I want to apply the style now. Div followed by here class equal to, here it is what, D style. I think I have created D style. That means div style it is. D style. Okay, so in this now, I would like to put some text. So this content I can take. Then here, let me put in this area. Okay, in this area, let me put this. Similarly, I create here one more div. And to the div again, I can apply the class. Okay, this I want to put it as like only page data. It is okay. So I just want to put in this manner. Then try to run this here. Div class. It should be starting with a proper tag. Okay, then render this now here. So what is happening in this case? You have some border in this manner. Border radius you have like this, automatically scroll bars are getting added. But whenever you resize this one here, they must be getting activated. Still scroll bars are not coming into scene. Okay, not required actually in this case scroll bars, because we made it actually responsive. So not required in this case scroll bar, automatically it's fitting. But border is actually, it's not good. You need to go with actually better looking. So if you go with 90%, then definitely it doesn't look nice. Go here and try to go with some 3% border radius. We go with the 3%. Then you have here rounded borders. Now you can see here rounded borders you have for this. You can find in this case rounded borders. You can see here you find the rounded borders in this case. Now let us resize this. Even when you resize automatically, I mean it is changing as per the device width. As per device width, automatically it's coming here. But here content is not getting converted to uppercase. Only for the uppercase, I mean the divs which are above these two divs, they are actually converting into uppercase. We applied there actually element based styling. By default, all the divs actually paragraphs. By default, all paragraphs go with actually font size 20, color yellow, then text transform uppercase. But when you go here with a class based style, you can define using dot followed by here the name of the style. So here using element name, and this is using actually here the class name. This is called as dot. It starts with dot followed by here the name of the style, and in this you specify style. So automatically those styles are getting applied for you in this. Okay, for these two divs it's working. You don't require actually the scroll in this case. Remove the scroll, then it can work properly. Okay, so now here, see with this, it is working. So like this, we made actually 60% of the entire width. It's using 60%, and automatically this is becoming, in this case, responsive. You're not going to lose any content on the device, on the available space. This is getting rendered, and automatically text is also getting wrapped here in this case. So this is called as here class based, and this is called as here element based styling, and this is called as here class based styling. And for radius and for border, I mean we are having here curved kind of thing. Borders are actually curved here. It's not straight. In this case, it's not straight because we have used in this case border radius as 3%. Here we are using it as actually 3%. Because of that, in the ending, you have a like a small arc you have in the ending. So edges have an arc in that case. So like this is created here, D style, then color right, width it is. Now, suppose you want to put a border around the image. Around image, you want to go with a border. Then in this case, you can go here with a IMG, SRC. Only for this, you want to have that. Then write here ID equal to IMG1. You can go here with the IMG1 and rounded we want to have here. So come to this, then define a new style. It's called as now element based style. Hash followed by here IMG1. Then here in this, go with the border radius. Border radius, here go with the 50%. What happens? See in that case. Okay, only for one image, you should have here a circular kind of thing. It's not coming up. Okay, where, which image, with what image I applied that? IMG1 it is. ID is going to be IMG1. It is actually image based styling here, border radius. Okay, similarly, border. Okay, border. You can go here with the like solid border I want to use here. Around the image, I want to have a solid border. Then render here how this looks. Okay, it is coming actually in a circular fashion. In a circular fashion, you are getting when you go with the 50%. Okay, so in 50%, whenever you have, it is getting rendered in this manner. Now, when we resize, how this works, see here. Okay, when we resize, also no issue. Automatically, it's getting adjusted with the screen. Getting adjusted as per the screen. So this is working in this manner. So for images, I mean, whenever you want to put around an image a circular kind of thing, you can go with this. Border radius 50% when you give, so it is automatically getting adjusted in that. If you go with 30% or 40%, it will have different impact. So go here and try to render again in this manner here. Now the image is coming something similar to this here. Okay. So like this actually, you can, I mean, design the content for display purpose in a different way, in a beautiful manner you can create. So these are what exactly responsive web pages we created. And here styles are going to be element based style, then class based style, and other one is here ID based style. ID based, then here class based, and other thing is what here element based. And one more thing is what inline styles also we are using in this. This is called as here inline style. It's called as actually inline style. So using these styles, you are making your content looking better. I don't say this is very good content. I mean, better way presentation. Just I'm showing how you can make. So if you have creative mind, then definitely you can make it very, very beautiful. Looking for better fonts, looking for better color combinations. Okay, so if you have some user experience, how user feels about screens, that is called as UX. Okay, so you can arrange content in a better manner. So I can catch easily that, and it is not going to be irritating for them. Sometimes when you look at certain sites, you get a lot of irritation. Okay, it should be pleasant for the eyes to see again and again. And at the same time, it should be usable. In a comfortable manner, in a convenient manner, they should be using. Then only they come and visit again and again site. So UI, UX experience is also going to be very important. User interface design, and as per the user requirement, that's called as user experience. So UI, UX skills are also very, very important actually. Ultimately, user should be feeling comfortable with the like screens. They should be in a position to work comfortably with that. It should be user friendly. Okay, so even it should be working with the disabled people. People may have certain disabilities. So with that also, it should be working for them. In that manner, a web page must be designed always. Then only they can see. Otherwise, if it's irritating colors you have, the content is not clear, navigation is not clear. So in such case, they get irritated. So they may not visit again and again our sites. Okay, so this is about today's session. Then if you have any questions, please raise your questions, I can answer. And certain things when you want to experiment, you can experiment yourself. Okay, you can experiment them and you can see the results. Okay, so in different manner, try to experiment. So, I mean, regarding that, if you ask actually the sessions questions, it is not going to be really meaningful. Time will be wasted simply. So in different manner, you can test, you can actually, you can experiment and you can see the results. So most of the things are actually you can answer yourself. Fine. So here practice more and more with this. Again, watch this video. Then if you have any doubts, questions, you send me to my email. There are two emails I gave you. So to any one of the emails, you can send your questions. We'll be answering. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Sidram, will you take over? Okay, then. I'm closing the meeting.
Thank you all.